Yeah, this past Thursday, some of our members of our travel team went in the COVID protocol. I think everyone knows that. Thus, we weren't able to travel, and eventually had to postpone the game because hopefully we'll be making that up in January. And so thus we've we're in protocol and listening to the proper authorities and local, county, and our team doctor make sure that we're doing everything right. As everyone knows, things are very fluid, but we are planning to play Wednesday. And if you guys need any more specifics, Pat Chung will be able to answer all those questions during the pregame radio show. Thanks.
Questions first, Ryan Root. Dan Evergreen, go ahead.
Hey, Coach. Have you been in much contact with the Idaho athletic department to see if they're good to go on Wednesday?
I haven't, but it's definitely something on my to-do list. I know previous to their games this weekend, I think they were battling some of the same stuff. But kind of on their assumption they played down in Sacramento, unless they had some. Yeah, they played twice. I know they did. I watched them. So, unless we hear something, but like I said, everything's fluid. You don't know. It's the anxiety of everything kind of weighs on you. That was the hardest thing, is navigating that thing after our game, Oregon State, and trying to figure out whether you're traveling and adjusting time. So at least they're 8 miles away, and hopefully that's not as much an issue. And hopefully everyone there is healthy and we're healthy as well.
Last week after the Oregon State game, you kind of said this team, didn't have, the time to really practice before this Colorado game. Did you kind of take advantage of the extra time with the cancellation and prepare for this Wednesday game?
We didn't get any extra practice time because we were just kind of paused everything for a couple of days. So we had a little lull there. So just kind of moving the chains and trying to because we needed we're a little banged up and just nicked up and stuff with, Tony being out and some other guys. So we've been, having to work on some things that we didn't really plan for the season. And some of it's based on our personnel. We're so young and new, and maybe looking at playing some more bigger lineups. So that's kind of what I've been working on. And
how's Tony's status looking so far?
I think it's day to day with him as far as I don't think we'll have him. But it's a little bit on him when he feels good to go. He'll try to work himself back in there, but right now he's I don't think he's there yet.
With the latest AP polls, the Cougars were receiving some votes. How does that feel to motivate this team going forward?
I must have some unknown AP friends. I don't know what that means. Puts a bigger target on our back. I don't think we've done enough. But it's nice to be recognized by someone that thinks we're doing well. I'm sure our marketing people will use it to their advantage, and it's a great way to promote our program. So it does feel good, but as the cautious coaches, it says that relax. We haven't done anything. Handle some success.
And one last question for you. Facing Idaho this time at home, as opposed to the road last year, how does it kind of feel to host this rivalry for the first time in your WSU tenure?
It's awkward because we don't have fans. So I'll let you know after the game. I a lot of respect the way Zach has those guys playing hard. They went on the road and struggled a little bit, but it's good for us because we won't see they actually play a little like Oregon State as far as a lot of screens, and they run their stuff hard, and it'll be a challenge for us. But I guess we're just more focused on the next opponent, and it's going to be hard to have the rivalry without some crowd involvement. But it is proximity for sure. That there'll be a little more motivation on both teams' parts.
Great, thank you, Coach.
Jamie Vinnick, Coug fan, go ahead.
Hey, Coach. Just out of curiosity, were you guys in Boulder when the games got canceled, or were you still in Pullman?
No, we didn't get cleared to go.
Idaho, Scott Blakeney's, I think, their leading scorer so far, their second leading scorer. He's kind of more of a post-up player than a two-way guy. Does that kind of give you the opportunity, you think, to get Vova some minutes against the guy that he can kind of clog the paint against?
Yeah, for sure. Also, we got – like I said, I feel we're good there. We're super young. I don't know how I can get them all in there, but like Deshaun played 9 minutes and he's been in and out for a while, and playing FA at some power forward, I think it's especially some of the teams in Pac-12. So, and Blakeney is rugged, but a little like Brandt. Brandt's a young version of Blakeney, I think. I hope. Blakeney really plays hard. He's really physical. He bothered us last year just with his physicality and his toughness and his grit. So he's a little like the kid from Eastern Washington who's done really well. Watching him against Oregon and Arizona and Groves. He doesn't shoot the three, but just the physicality and veteran, older guy. So it'll be a good matchup for our young posts.
Does he remind you, Blakeney, a little bit of Jeff?
Yeah, but more. I'd say the kid from Eastern Washington is a little more like Jeff because he can stretch the floor. And this guy reminds me of Brandt. Like I said, Brandt, he's a little more experienced, but like Brandt is that rugged, tough kid. And hopefully, it's a good one for Brandt to model himself a little bit. This guy plays hard. He's getting better too from where he was last year. Stronger.
How was Carlos Rosario progressing with his injury?
He's doing better. He's got more practice time. I'd say he's been cleared to do what he's capable of doing, but he's still probably 50% of the practice, I'd say, where before it was just non-contact stuff maybe. So the last 7 to 10 days he's been able to do more.
Awesome. Thanks, Coach. Appreciate
it. Theo, go ahead.
Hey, Kyle. Talking to Coach Rolovich after the USC football game on Sunday, he said his day doesn't really start until they get testing results back in the morning. Can you kind of say the same thing for you guys up to this point?
Yeah, I think that's the case for everybody right now, and it does make it tricky to plan practice. Like I said, like what are we going to do offensively? How are we going to do defensively? It's a challenge. You got to try to tune it out. And that was really, like I said, it was really stressful to call. My God, I spent most of the day after on the phone, just handling, talking with Pat and Ann, Dr. Henry, you're getting all this information. They're trying to keep you in the loop. And so I'd like to just focus on, you want to focus on the task. Coaches are routine driven. I guarantee Rolo's the same way. It's like, I just want to I want to watch my film, talk to my staff, plan the practice. And that's kind of it. But then you get a thunderbolt thrown there every day. So you got to be nimble and try to manage it. But it's tough for coach. You're being, got to lay it on the line and you're going to be evaluating. You're like, it's tough, but we'll manage. And I'm just happy we're playing.
How did the players handle that news on Friday when you had to break it to them?
They've been awesome on here and on handling everything with disappointed, especially like Noah and Isaac were really, they're kind of chomping at the bit. They felt good, got a good win on Wednesday. I want to keep, play off that momentum. Noah's quickly become the, not the most well-liked guy in the league. I got to watch him, but he's a competitor. I love him. So that's hard for the competitor. It's hard for the competitor and the coach too. You're like, you're getting ready to compete. You're ready, and you got to measure that against what the people, the health professionals are telling you shouldn't do it. And you're like, you want to power through, but they felt the same way a little bit, but they handle it well. And they've handled all this stuff well throughout going back to March, to be honest. So I'm pleased with that.
Have you at all traded notes with Coach Rolovich to see how they kind of handled a similar situation with Stanford and UW games being canceled, and how their team kind of reacted to it to see how you guys could kind of handle something like that better, maybe?
I haven't, other than we had a head coaches meeting. He really because he's ahead of the curve, ahead of us on the process. He told all the head coaches, like, be sure, be on your players. I think that's accurate. Just the indecision. He said mental health issues. Make sure, and that's every day. The more so than ever before. Like, I was talking to Coach Shaw in the office where I came over. Just like, don't underestimate the not I've never been in one city this long in my life for this many consecutive days. So there's when you're in monotony or something to look forward to. That little trip to Colorado would have been a chance for us to bond, get out of your daily routine a little bit. So all that stuff, mental part. He mentioned that, and I can feel in our guys. He's what 3/4 the way through a season, almost done. So he had to sit for 22 days without a game and preparing for a team, and then no, we're not going to play that. But I know that's a tough one. Ours come every 3-4 days, and you can kind of move on. They had a 3-week gap there. That's tough.
Has it been reassuring to see a few other guys kind of step up as complimentary scores the last couple of games with Noah and I guess 2 games ago, and especially DJ in the last game against Oregon State?
Yeah, I think like I said, we're young, we're evolving. Life without CJ a little bit. I think it'll help Isaac. He doesn't have to have that burden. We still, like Miles and Ryan, they've both been nicked up with ankles and holds, and so it's like we got to get one of those guys or both those guys to help on the ball handling, relieve some of that pressure. But it's really nice to see DJ. DJ had a really nice fall. And as far as in practice, he's made a big jump, and it showed up against Oregon State. So it'd be nice if I think he could be that for us. I think he'd be a guy that stretches the floor, gets on the glass, and he's really solid defender. Like, he's not the quick chase guys around, but he's great. He's just got a really good feel, intelligence, good strength too. So hopefully he handles success and takes advantage and keeps going the right direction.
Any other questions for Coach today? Alyssa, Charleston, go ahead.
Hey, Coach. How's it going?
Great.
Curious, you said obviously this won't be as much of a rivalry without an audience. So what kind of game are you expecting overall with Idaho?
I think, like I said earlier, they're going to come. They're going to do what they do. They're sound in their execution. They're going to run their early game. We're going to see, like I said, a little bit like Oregon State. So we're lucky we just played that game as far as they're defending a lot of pin downs, back screens, flares. They're going to run Quinette off a lot of screens, and they're going to put the ball inside. And then defensively, they're going to be really sound. Our guys got to be patient because they'll be sound in the floor position. They're going to be physical on the post. So it's just another opportunity for us to get better. And this time of year, like I said, we missed our 2 scrimmages. Everyone did. We're behind in what's comfortable for me as far as we really need to be more worried about us. And like I said, we've carved out an identity where we've defended well. We're still not rebounding the way we need to, and we're not handling the ball and executing close to what we need to be good. But at least we got one thing we've done. We got to keep doing that. And just keep hammering away, rebounding, ball handling. It's not as much about what they do and what we do. It's going to be a little more about let's worry about us, give ourselves the best chance to play well.